I have about as much hair as I have emotional intelligence. Needless to say, Kratos from God of War is one of my absolute role models, and today we're making him in Skyrim.
Boy.
Kratos is a lightly armored heavyweight. He is armed with the Blades of Chaos, Leviathan Axe, and when all else fails, his meaty fists. We're not bothering with spells and magic for this build, because that is for people who can read. Now, here's where it gets racy. Kratos is officially a Spartan, but there isn't really anything in the race list that mostly resembles a Greek. Moreover, to accommodate for the Spartan's rage skill, our best bet will be to play as an orc. No. Upon reflection, I did not want my boy to be green, so I chose to split the difference. I ended up making a Nord, because they are the biggest human looking race. And then I reached out to my boy Consolius Commandius to give Kratos the racial perk of the orcs. Now before you trickle down into the comments and say, oh my god, you can't just race swap Kratos. I can, and he has done it before too. For that extra bit of authenticity, I like to increase the height of my character. You can do so on PC by using the console commands. Put on the height armor set and you've got the basic look covered. Activate the warrior stone and you'll get a bonus to most of the main skills we'll be using during this build. The first order of business is getting gear for our unarmed combat. The only thing we need for now is the gloves of the Pugilist. These can be looted from Gian The Fist, who has taken up residence in the Red Ways in Riften. Slap these bad boys on and we're ready to slap bad boys on. Now for the Leviathan Axe. Starting off, I recommend a one-handed steel axe. They can mostly be found really early in the game without any problems. It is imperative that it has a Frost Enchantment. When you get a few more levels in, I suggest the Okin War Axe. This is a special war axe with a Frost Enchantment built in. It can be earned as a reward for the quest Silenced Tongues. You can start this quest in Volenruud by trying to open the locked door in the center of the dungeon. Word of warning, the boss fight of this quest might prove difficult at lower levels. The Blades of Chaos are a bit more difficult. While a lot of weapons in Skyrim come close, none of them really resemble them. The Scimitar doesn't look insane enough and the Daedric sword is too long. The Daedric daggers on the other hand are lacking that thickness we so desperately need. It seems that this weapon cannot really be replicated in vanilla Skyrim. So in this case, I just put on a fire enchantment on 2 scimitars in the early game and did the same for Daedric swords when I got the appropriate levels. Strictly speaking, you can just download mods that replicate the real arsenal into the game. But I want this build to be accessible for everyone. And that includes my brothers and sisters that are still stuck on the 7th generation consoles. For the Guardian Shield, I opt for the Bended Iron Shield. Later in the game, you should upgrade to the Shield of Ysgramor, which is a reward for completing the Companions Questline. It can be found in a chest at the end of Ysgramor's tomb. Well done, we've achieved perfection. Now, let's go over our skills and perks. We're going to prioritize light armor, one-handed and block. To give ourselves a way to improve our weaponry, we also spec into the smithing skill. For the light armor skill, Agile Defender is the most important. Since we're staying in character, we're never covering up Kratos' big beautiful bald head, which means that we will not be benefiting from perks that rely on a full set of light armor. If you want to use these perks, you're gonna have to put on a helmet. Just know that you'll be committing sacrilege. Picking your one-handed perks is easy. You want to get everything except for Bonebreaker. For block, all we really need is the Power Bash and the Deadly Bash. If for whatever reason you ever get your speech to level 70, be sure to pick up the Intimidation perk as well.
Are you not a soldier? Are you not a leader of men? Master yourself!
Smithing is needed to upgrade weapons and armor. Put a point in arcane smithing to be able to upgrade enchanted pieces as well. In the late game, you want to unlock Daedric smithing to make swords. This will drastically increase your DPS. Putting points into health is your top priority, magicka doesn't matter, and as always, you're not going to need as much stamina if you're just eating your goddamn vegetables. Taking all of this together, it's gonna look something like this. Arguably the most important ingredient of this build is the war.
Get in the boat, boy.
The heart and soul of the new iteration of God of War is the bond between Kratos and Atreus, and we couldn't close out this build without including him in the guide. My opinion, the best pick for this role is Njada's Stonearm. Of course, you are following this guide to the letter, so you have done this quest already. The sharp viewer will have noticed the one problem already.
Atreus, we're moving up, boy.
I'm actually a woman.
Shut up, boy.
Take the boys' weapons away, replace them with a bow, and ask Consolius Commandius for a final request, and we're done. And that's it. Let's see what kind of adventures we'll get up to.
Shit.